So I thought this might make for an interesting video. Currently we're looking at this main screen on a virtual machine I'm running. And this virtual machine is a test box that I've used for various programs and stuff. And currently there's 3 drives set up on this virtual machine. The C drive, which is the OS drive. The E drive, which is just a blank drive I made for doing the speed test, and then the F drive, which is another blank drive I made for doing a speed test. And the E drive is comprised of 8 Intel Data Center S3500 series 480 gigabyte solid state drives and a RAID 50. And the E drive, the F drive, um, is comprised of 8 Data Center S4500 series 1.92 terabyte solid state drives and a RAID 50. These are configured on a PERC H710p RAID controller, just with whatever the default configuration was for the RAID 50. I didn't make any changes from that standpoint. But yeah, I'm just kind of curious to see how these will perform compared to spec. Basically, they both have a read speed of 500 megabytes a second individually, and the S3500 drives are 410 megabytes a second, and the S4500 drives are 490 megabytes a second, so a little faster. But since they're also in a RAID, I believe there'll be a little bit of a speed boost too. So what I'll do first is run each drive individually, and then depending on how it goes, I might try seeing if I can hit them both at the same time, since I have 2 instances of CrystalDiskmark open. But yeah, so I'm gonna probably speed up this next clip. There'll be no audio since it's just running the test, but yeah, here we go. Well, the first round of testing is done. I'm not very good with this SSD speed stuff, so um, I don't really know if these numbers are good or bad necessarily. I'm comparing them to someone else's tests on a Samsung 870 EVO 1 terabyte drive, and I'm definitely getting a higher read speed on the first round of tests. And then as you kind of progress down from top to bottom, it progressively gets worse. The second, I guess the second level is still faster than a single 870 EVO, but the 4K writes and reads, the drives definitely don't perform very well, which I don't know if that's because of how I have the RAID controller configured, or if that's because they're virtual drives, or what's going on with that. But yeah, mostly just kind of curious. I realized since I can open up more copies of CrystalDiskmark at once, what I'm going to do now for the next test is I'm going to hit both of the drive arrays at the same time, and then compare how big of a difference it makes to have everything running compared to just individually. I do have other virtual machines running right now, but they're basically doing nothing, so I don't think the other virtual machines are affecting how the tests are performing necessarily. So yeah, the next clip will be just a speed up version of running both disk speed tests at the same time. I don't know why, but I thought it'd be fun to throw this little clip in. The drives are currently blinking away running their tests. I'm not sure if my power utilization is higher than normal. I'm not really doing much, so these drives shouldn't be drawing that much power. But yeah, they're definitely working away. So with both arrays being hit at the same time, there's definitely some performance lost. My guess is some of that is coming from the fact that I'm saturating the bandwidth of the RAID controller. The H710p has a 1 gig cache, and it should be running at 8 lanes of PCI Express 2.0, which would give me 4 gigabytes a second. But obviously, if that's the case, you'd think I could hit it a little bit harder than that, maybe. I'm not sure though. Definitely not my expertise. This is mostly, I guess, just to document how fast these drives can perform. I did notice that in the different write options as you're going down through the test, it seems like having both drives had less of an effect. So with these SEQ 1M, those I have a feeling must be easier to do because it's obviously higher numbers. So with those running both arrays at the same time, I'm running into bandwidth limitations. But then further down with the bigger, with the heavier workloads, I guess I should say, it seems like the speed limitations are less about the RAID controller and more about the drives, because with these bottom three ones, there really wasn't that much of a speed drop. So clearly the performance only really matters with the loads that are less challenging for the drives to do. So yeah, probably not the best video. I apologize for that, but I just thought it'd be interesting to compare the speed capabilities of these two different arrays and then also see how they do if I hit everything at once. I don't believe I'm going to be able to hit my server hard enough on my own to really make any difference. Running the TrueNAS array so far has been fine. I haven't noticed any difference between that and my spinning disk array. If I was able to do 10 gig connections, maybe it would matter a little bit more then. But even then, I'm the only user on the server, so I don't really foresee having to worry about any kind of major bottlenecking, maybe unless some program gets out of control. But yeah, hopefully that's interesting. Thanks for watching.